Come with us where the corn is popped and the throwback Thursdays never stop. It's a magical land not far away. All you have to do is just press play.
So,
hop on the couch and close your eyes. Gonna party like it's 99. Join us, watch the movies of our lives with Blockbuster Wives.
welcome to Blockbuster Wives, where your two favorite 90s babies talk about movies from the era of a certain blue and yellow video rental store. I'm your host with the most late fees, Shea Baby.
And this is Stacy, not always kind, but always rewinds.
Welcome to
Blockbuster
Wives. Pew, pew, pew. We miss you guys.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. What, a week? A week feels like a year when we're away from you.
That's right. Anonymous listener. It's all for you.
We know what you're doing. We see you. We love you. We mean it.
We have some very exciting news.
We sure do.
We have our first Patreon patron.
Yes!
Woo! We are now $5 closer to Shrekfest, baby.
Holy shit. Or the last Blockbuster.
Either or. We'd like to do both, ideally.
Yeah, so I know that Shrekfest, they announced the dates. It's in September, and it's definitely in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we could potentially make that happen if, 20 more of you or so decide,
Or a single person pledging, I don't know, $10, $20, $30,000.
We know you're out
reasonable.
there. We know you could do it. You know you could do it. Just, give her on up.
Be our little
Give us some of the
podcast
sweetness.
sugar daddy.
What'd you say?
It'd be our podcast sugar daddy.
Yeah, our podcast daddy, please, for the love of God.
It's for art.
It is for art. It's for experience. It's for the future. It's for the children, okay? They need to see that dreams do come true.
And that's why we want to thank Cody for being our first Patreon donor. If you donate to us, you will get a shout out, of course.
Yeah, Cody, you're the best. We love you. We always have. We always will. And meet us at Shrekfest, brah.
Yeah, everyone's invited.
Yeah, you're all definitely invited. We'd love to meet all of you. So, yeah, that's all we had to say about that.
Yeah, now that we got our business out of the way, how have you been lately? What's new?
Oh, not much. I'm about to go on a cute little camping trip this weekend with our other soulmate, Becca. And I'm super stoked. We're going to Flaming Gorge, which is what they used to call me in college.
Wow. Oh, you got to borrow my paddleboard.
I was going to, but I'm actually flying.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm flying
to Utah?
Salt Lake. It's literally $40.
Oh, I love that. Round trip?
Yes.
Get out of town.
I swear. That's why I was like, okay, well, there's no reason for me to drive because that would cost me at least 4 times the amount.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. So I was like, cool. It's cheaper to fly now, literally, than it is to drive somewhere. And it takes an hour and a half. So going.
Oh, I love that. That's so swaggy.
I know. I'm so
So
excited.
happy for you.
We wish you could come.
I know. I'm having a wedding palooza coming up.
Oh, right.
Also trying to buy a house, which is a million things to do, which I didn't realize. All good problems to have.
Honestly, hardcore congrats. I didn't get to tell you when I walked in, but
Oh, that's okay. We're under contract, but it's not a done deal. So
it is in my heart.
let's hold the celebration till we close.
True. Well, I still feel celebratory in my soul, but I will hold back until we know for sure.
But I feel intense guilt because housing is such a goddamn crisis right now.
Why do you feel guilty?
Because everyone should be able to buy a house, and it's ridiculous that it's so hard.
Yeah, yeah. But you shouldn't feel guilty. It's not like it's your fault. You didn't do anything wrong.
Not.
You did not do anything wrong, and I'm very, very happy for you and proud of you that you're able to do that. Some people just don't want, I don't want to buy a house. That sounds trash. For me.
Yeah,
Not
for me. For you, it's a beautiful
For you,
journey.
it's a wonderful time to celebrate. For me, I'm just eh. But
But it is a townhome where we don't have a yard, which sounds great to me because I can be honest with myself at this point in my life. I'm not a hang out in the backyard kind of person.
yeah, I only am if there's a jacuzzi or a swing set.
Exactly. But just chilling in an unadorned backyard, it's not going to happen.
No. Plus, I've seen the house, and you don't need a backyard with all the...
you.
I was going to say accoutrement, but that's not the
I
right
think it
word,
works.
right?
Accoutrement.
All the accoutrement that's inside of those dwellings is so fucking rad, and you absolutely don't need a stupid backyard. Who are you, the backyardigans? You don't need that.
Exactly. They suck. No,
I
I'm
don't
just
know
kidding.
who they are.
No disrespect.
They
to the
don't
backyard.
belong in your house, baby. Anyway, I'm very excited for you, and I'm thinking such good thoughts. I've been, manifesting this for you.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm. I lit a candle and everything.
Ooh, hell yeah. I got the witchy powers on my side.
You sure do.
And scene.
Perfect. God, we're great.
So what are we watching this week?
This week, we have watched The Sandlot, baby.
Perhaps one of the most, if not the, wait, I just said the same thing twice. The most iconic baseball movie ever.
I truly think so. It absolutely shaped my entire childhood. I think I mentioned this last episode when I was talking about it, but I have watched this movie so many times, like Grinch level amount of times. And we've watched that movie many, many times. I've watched it so many times. I used to fall asleep to it every night. Like, I just adore it. I'm so excited to talk about it with you.
That was going to be my question, because it's like, I feel like different movies that we watch a lot of times have different like replay value. Like some movies are good for getting ready in the morning. Some movies are good for going to bed.
Yeah.
This is a good going to bed movie.
This is a great going to bed, because it's just, obviously there are some like chase scenes and things like that we'll get to, but for the most part, I feel like it's just really calm. The music is absolutely divine, and it's just like such a feel good, comfy, cozy, warm little movie. I love it so much. I can't wait to talk about it more with you.
Hell yeah. So do we want to start off with some corporate bullshit and then you give us a summary?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
So Sandlot came out in 1993.
Yep.
That's only 3 years into our time period, which by the way is 1990 to 2010.
Period.
You may ask why? Because that is the era of Blockbuster Video Store.
Exactly.
It all makes
We kind of say it at the beginning, but we want to remind y'all that that's what's good.
Mm-hmm. So 1993, very early on, very pre 9/11, as I like
Very
to designate
pre 9/11.
these movies. Pre or
Almost a
post
decade
9/11.
pre 9/11.
A simpler time, really.
Honestly.
And that
truly.
shows the movie. It was co-written, directed by David Mickey Evans.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the narrator,
He sure is.
and he's great at it. This is our longest movie so far, I believe, at 101 minutes.
Ooh. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it stars Tom Guiri as Smalls and Mike Vitar as Benny the Jet Rodriguez,
Hell yeah.
who is so fine. I'm sure we'll talk about that more.
Oh, we will absolutely be talking about it.
You also have a very young Dennis Leary as the stepdad, Bill.
Sexy.
Very, very young. Very sexy.
Yeah, super sexy.
And then you have James Earl Jones as the old man at the end.
Thank you, Darth Vader.
Spoiler alert. And the budget was $7 million, but it raked in $32 million.
Baby, that's what I'm
Wowza.
talking about.
That is a profitable ass movie.
Yeah, as soon as they got James Earl Jones, they're like, get out of here.
Give us more.
Give us more, please.
But yeah, that's all I have for corporate bullshit.
That was great. First of all, I love that they made such a profit, because they truly deserve it. And I feel like a lot of these feel-good childhood movies from the 90s do not get the money or credit they deserve. So I'm so glad that they did with this particular movie. God, it means so much to me. I love this movie so much. So the summary that I would like to give is a small town kid moves to a new city during right when the summer starts, and he sees these kids playing baseball, and he's always wanted to learn. So he kind of shows up at the Sandlot where they all just practice, and he realizes they don't actually play real games. They just kind of play an ongoing game, and he decides to join them, and they all become friends. And then there's a secret of the neighborhood, which is that there's a beast living in one of the backyards of the houses surrounding the Sandlot, and baseballs are thrown over the fence. And so it is their duty to essentially get back a very important signed baseball that belongs to his stepdad. And that's the best explanation I can come up with right now.
Yeah, that's the main gist.
Yeah.
Kids playing baseball and a scary ass beast.
Period. Yep. Who, by the way, looks exactly like my dog. Let's just start that out right now.
Yes, a Mastiff, right?
He's an English Mastiff named Hercules. And my dog is a Cane Corso Mastiff, but all Mastiffs pretty much look exactly the same. And I love that. I forgot how similar they truly look. It is wild.
Right. And they're both gigantic. And you had a Mastiff before, your current Mastiff. So you're a Mastiff family. Do you think your dad was influenced by the Sandlot?
I don't think he was influenced. I think my dad has always loved Mastiffs his whole life. And I don't know where it started, but he's just always loved giant beast dogs, for lack of a better term. And so Mastiffs are like the baddest, most, well, typically they're not very friendly and they're very like lone wolf sort of dogs, and that's totally my dad's steez. So,
well, he's certainly not friendly in the movie.
He sure isn't, at least not at the beginning.
And again, we'll be spoiling the fuck out of this movie, but it came out of 1993.
Yeah,
so.
like get with the program, you guys. Come on. It has Mike Vittar starring in it, James Earl Jones. Let's get with the goddamn program. Anyway. Okay.
So why do you think you liked it so much as a kid? Like, what do you think it was that made you keep coming back for more?
I think it was, I related a lot to moving to a new place. Mm-hmm. If you guys don't know, I'm from Canada, and I moved to Vegas, where we live, when I was 6 years old, and I didn't have any friends, and I was constantly made fun of. And I think I just like romanticized, proving my worth to like all the neighborhood cool kids that like all were super like fun and always rode their bikes and caused trouble. And like I ended up kind of becoming a part of this like all dude crew in my neighborhood. And I think, yeah, I just related to Scotty a lot. The music is insanely amazing. I think that is the sole reason I love doo-wop so much. And I just also think, I love how playful they are. I love how good of a friend Benny is. Like, he just always believed in Scotty, the main character.
Yeah, Benny is truly, like, wise beyond his years.
Yeah, wise and really, like, calming, even though he's, like, very intense about baseball. He's still very, like, calm, ropes everyone together. He's like, come on, guys, let's just play baseball. Like, it's very, like, almost like the dude mentality.
Right, and he is, like, such an effective alpha leader because he's the best guy on the team. Mm-hmm. He can hit and run like a motherfucker, and everyone respects that, but he's, like, not a dick about it.
No, he's, like, super chill, and he's just like, yeah, I just like to play like, you could just tell he loves the game, and it's not to prove to anyone other than himself that he can do it. And he just loves playing with it. Like, you could tell he just loves being on a team, and yeah, that's why I love it so much. Did you like it a lot as a kid?
You know, I liked it a lot as a kid, and I thought certain parts were so funny, like the forever. I thought it was fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it like religiously, but I probably have seen it like a solid 20 times. But it has been years since I watched it.
Me too.
But I was surprised how much I did remember. Like, I was like, oh yeah. Like, as soon as it started, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But there's still enough scenes where I was like, man, I forgot that this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of forgot the entire ending. And I think it might be one of those movies where I'd always watch the beginning more than the end.
I totally understand that. Because that doesn't seem like a long amount of time. But if you're a kid and you're starting it at like 7 or 8 p.m., you're getting tired by like the scene where like, you know, 4th of July, I feel like that's when you're starting to get real tired.
Right. And that is such a good scene to show Benny's love for baseball. Like, it's so genius. Like, how all the other kids are, like, caught up in the fireworks, but Benny just keeps running those bases.
Yep.
Like,
I love the way that they filmed that.
Yeah. Genius scene.
It really, the whole movie is just, in my book, it's so genius from top to bottom. I love it so much. But yeah, if we want to get started on talking about the plot from the beginning, we could absolutely do that.
Yeah, go right ahead. All
right, here we go. So the movie starts out like a lot of movies I love so much, where they start out closer to modern day times, right? So it shows this adult man, and he's like walking through the hallways of like a professional baseball stadium, and then he gets to this like announcer booth, and he sits down and he looks over at this like picture of a bunch of kids, and then it kind of like zooms into the kids, and then you're transported. I almost said transformed. You're not transformed. You're transported into the early 60s, 1962, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, what I really like about it is the way that this sportscaster gets you back in time is he's like, oh my gosh, best summer of my life. I'm going to tell you the biggest pickle I've ever been into. And I literally wrote down LOL white privilege.
Oh my God, yes.
It's just incredible that this is the biggest problem he's ever had in his life.
As an adult man, he's saying
man.
that a dog was the biggest pickle when he was like 12 years old.
It just cracked me up. I was like, wow, and the movie is like, it's very Fantasyland. It's very Americana. It's very like picturesque of what I think people wish / dream / reminisce what they think America should be.
Oh, 100%. Especially at that time, because you know hellish shiesty shit was happening over there.
Oh yeah.
They're like, it was perfect. It was the best summer of my life.
I know, and there is a black kid on the team, but I'm like, yo, it was 1962. Segregation was alive and well. Mm-hmm. Depending on where they are, he wouldn't be allowed in that pool.
No.
And they don't really address that at all.
They do not address that at all, which is ruh-roh, obviously.
But maybe they were in a really cool state and it wasn't a problem.
They're set in California, in like San Fernando Valley. So I'm not sure how it would be over there.
I don't know when California ended segregation.
Me neither. Yeah, I don't know. Me neither.
But anyways, yeah, so I just thought that was funny that that's the biggest pickle. And he keeps saying it. And every time he said, I think he says like 4 times. And every time I was just like,
you're like, this is rough.
I was like, wow, he really is hung up on this.
He's you could tell he's like really stuck in the past, which honestly, I don't blame him for because his past was lit. Let me tell you what. So it shows him moving into this new neighborhood as a kid. He's probably like 12 or 13. They never like confirmed, but definitely in that age range. And when he's moving in, he's seeing this kid who lives across the street and they sort of wave at each other. And the next scene is him asking his stepdad, who's like a new stepdad. And you can kind of tell he's like not sure if he should be calling him his name, which is Bill, or calling him Dad. You know, he's kind of like in the middle of that. He asks him to help him learn how to play catch. And his stepdad's like, yeah, whatever. And he like looks over because they're standing in his stepdad's office and he sees the signed baseball, but he doesn't know what it means because he doesn't know dick about baseball at all. So then...
Well, and I feel like the implication was that he says his dad died when he's young. And I feel like the implication, which would have been true in the 1960s, is like, because he didn't have a dad, he didn't learn how to throw a ball, and he doesn't know anything about baseball, because only dads could teach you that stuff.
That's true, yeah. That's like, it's true that would be the stereotype.
Right, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so funny that they're like, well, the reason I don't know how to throw is because I don't have a dad.
Yeah, but you know what? I love that later they're like, I'm going to turn you on your ass because he's like, my mom won't know anything about baseball. And she's the one that educates him on who Babe Ruth is.
Exactly, because she's a person paying attention.
Yeah, she's like a human adult being at that time. Anyway, so his stepdad said, yeah, well, I'll teach you sometime, whatever. So then he follows this gang of kids to the Sandlot that's in the middle of their neighborhood. And he's like, okay, I figure I'll just stand around. They'll need another guy and it'll be all good. And what happens is a ball comes his way. They expect him to catch it and he just basically falls on his ass. They all make fun of him, except for the kid that lives across the street whose name is Benny. He's kind of shaking his head at all the other kids in the gang that are laughing at him.
Wise beyond his years.
Yeah. So Scotty just like runs away because he's just like, fuck this.
And can we talk about Scotty's hat?
Huge brim.
I feel like wardrobe department must have custom made a hat with a huge brim to make him look like more of a doofus.
Oh, totally.
Because it was unnaturally large.
It was even because, spoiler alert again, he's wearing it as an adult later on in the movie, at the beginning and at the end. And it even looks insane on him as an adult.
Mm-hmm. I was like, they made a specialty ass, like a half sun hat for this man.
It really was like...
But it worked because it makes him look like a loser.
It's like on some Pharrell shit, but not cool.
Not cool at all.
It's like giant and you're like, what is happening? Clown hat. Anyway. Mm-hmm. So, what happens after that?
Well, while you look at your notes, I'm just going to point out that Benny the Jet Rodriguez, I feel like if you were a 90s kid, he was a good test to see if you were into men or not.
Ooh,
because he was just so fine.
He was so fine. Like, he might have been, besides, like, I think he was my first, like, actual, like, child crush. Because, like, when I was a kid, I was in love with Chris Farley, like, literally from the time I was, like, super young. So I think he was the first fictional character who was a child when I was a child that I was like, damn.
Right, I was like, oh my God, he's beautiful.
He was beautiful. Like, truly beautiful. So, anyway, the next scene is him playing with this little toy in his room late at night, and his mom walks in and gives him a pep talk and is basically like, I don't want you staying up in your room this entire summer like you did this last summer and the summer before. You're really smart and I'm super proud of you, but I want you to get into trouble. I want you to get dirty and scrape your knees, and like, I want you to get in trouble and you won't get in trouble with me. Like, how many moms can say that?
Yeah, she does a very I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom speech.
I didn't think about that, but you know what? She really did.
And I also did feel she was a little harsh. Like, he comes home the first day and she's like, have you made any friends yet? I was like, dang, bitch. Like,
she tried to say it so sweet, but he's just like, no, I'm just an egghead. And she's like, you'll always be an egghead with an attitude like that.
I was just like, it's right. You're right. It's bad to be an egghead loser.
What an
idiot.
be
an egghead.
I know. I do understand why she said what she said about, like, come on, I want you to go out and make friends. But, like, give him a minute, lady. He's only been here for 2 weeks.
Like, all right, relax.
So anyway, the next day, or as I imagine it's the next day, his mom kind of encourages him to ask Bill again to teach him how to play ball. So he does. Bill finally gives in. They go to the backyard, and Bill's telling him to keep his eye on the ball, which is, I've heard that so many times, and I don't know if that's like the greatest, like, obviously you should.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like looking behind me, you idiot.
Right, it's like, but you're not only gonna, I don't know, to me it just seems like some Quidditch shit. Like, you don't need to fully keep your eye on the ball like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you gotta have some instinct to it. I mean, let's be honest. Smalls is very bad at throwing.
Super
it's
bad.
Like he's never even seen anybody throw a ball. Like, he doesn't even know, like, the beginning of how to do it, which cracked me up. I was like, even if you've seen, like, one image of someone throwing a ball, he should be better at it than this.
Yeah, he's like handing it off to people like he's one of the kings handing it off to, like, Jesus giving him myrrh or some shit. He's just like, please, sir, take my gift.
Like, what is a ball? I don't know what baseball is.
It's like, listen, alien, just throw the fucking ball. So anyway, he doesn't keep his eye on the ball, quote unquote, and then he gets his shit rocked by the baseball. So he ends up having a giant black eye. But a scene that always has stuck out in my mind is Bill taking a giant ass fucking steak and, like, slamming it on his face. You hear the slap.
Oh, yeah. I got a black eye playing softball when I was, like, 8.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, are we going to put a steak on it? My mom was like, no.
It's not 1952.
Like, we have an ice pack that's reusable. You're going to use it.
My dad would have made me put, like, I don't know, some, like, ground meat or some shit on my eye if that ever happened.
Ground meat? Oh, no. It's
yeah,
like sliding
raw.
off.
It's like dripping off. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so anyways.
Also, did these mountains look familiar in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, this looks like Utah. And then I Googled it. Sure enough.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to bring that up.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm glad that you know, because I was like, hee hee. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, was it filmed near here? Mm-hmm. And then, yep. So fucking excited. I need to go to that goddamn Sandlot. I will do it. I'm doing that someday.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then Scotty's sitting on the front porch step. He's stoop kid. He's sad. He's like a little, his gloves all fucked, and, like, he has a black eye and he looks like a huge nerd. And then Benny comes up to him and he's just like, hey, I'm gonna go play baseball with some of the guys, why don't you come? And then he's like, I can't, my glove is broken. He's like, it's cool, I have an extra one. And let me just say, this kid is resourceful. He always has an extra hat, an extra glove. Like, he's always double prepared, and you could tell he, like, wants everyone to be with it.
But one thing I noticed.
What?
Extra glove, extra hat, no extra baseballs ever.
That's true.
WTF, Benny?
Do you think that baseballs were just, well, I guess this is the difference. Baseballs get lost real easily, number one, and they were expensive. gloves don't get lost as much because, you know, you're not like constantly throwing it and shit, but like.
But they're expensive AF.
I know.
So are hats.
I know.
So it's just weird to me that he's like, doesn't have 99-cent balls. He only has one ball at a time, but he just walks around with extra gloves and hats just in case.
You're right. It's very odd.
I feel like this was a plot hole that they didn't realize.
I don't know. I guess it's of the time. He liked the drama of it all, perhaps.
Right, it's one of those things where they needed the ball to get lost, so he doesn't
For
have
sure.
any.
For sure.
Convenient.
Yeah, because you know what? If he always had extra balls, the whole plot would be
it'd
gonzo.
be done. It'd be like, oh, I have another ball. End of movie credits.
Yeah, like every sitcom ever where it's like, if you just tell them the truth, you don't have to go through the next 25 minutes of this episode.
Exactly.
So he goes, introduces Scotty to the gang, and they all, so this is when you get introduced to all the kids. My favorite being, I'm sure you can guess who my favorite is.
Is it Squints?
No,
or
but
the
I do love
catcher? The
Ham.
little meatball kid.
Hambino, the great Hambino.
The great Hambino. He is so great. He's a comic genius.
You know what's funny about that? He got cast last. It was like last minute. It was they were like, cool, so you have to get on a plane tonight
Wow,
to
and
go
he
to Salt
does
Lake City.
everything in the film. Like he's the one setting up the traps. He's always the one doing it. It's
Yeah.
great.
He just puts in a lot of legwork. He cares a lot. He's very protective. He's aggressive. I love him so much. He reminds me a lot of little me, and I dressed like him today on purpose.
She is. She's wearing a little striped like crop top and little shorts, and we're both wearing baseball hats because we are dedicated to this theme.
We love a good theme, everybody. Trust. And I still want to go to a baseball game.
Yeah,
We should do that.
We need to look it up.
Okay, cool. When the month is over, maybe we'll go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is when he gets introduced to the gang, and as he's walking up, Ham is doing an impression of Babe Ruth, right? All the guys guess it, whatever. So someone was like, the Great Bambino. And Scotty walks up, not understanding what that means at all. And he's like, who's that? And everyone's like, what? Because, you know, they're all obsessed with baseball, and Babe Ruth is, you know, the greatest baseball player of all time at that point.
And they are shook.
And they were truly shook, and they're like, what? Like aggressively. And he's like, oh, I thought you said the Great Bambi.
And he goes, that stupid deer.
He's like, oh yeah, I know who the Great Bambino is, of course. So this is a plot in the movie that you need to remember, because he constantly pretends like he knows who the Great Bambino is, who Babe Ruth is, and he has no fucking clue who it is.
And let's admit it, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And you just hope that it won't bite you in the ass, but it really could.
I've hella lied about shit, especially when I was younger. All the time. People were like, yeah, don't you know it? Da, da, da.
You're like, uh-huh.
I could bring up a very inappropriate. Well, actually, this isn't very inappropriate. When I was younger,
say
I didn't
do
know
it.
what spooning was.
Oh no, this is
Oh, yeah.
inappropriate.
This is pretty inappropriate. Do you think it's so inappropriate that I can't talk about
I think you could say it in a way that's less inappropriate.
it? Okay. So I'm going to tell this story. Jamie, if you're listening, I'm shouting you out, baby.
We love you.
Love you so much. So I met my beautiful queens when we were all in our hardcore youth. We were like 11, 12 when we all met.
Those mashed potato brains were extra creamy.
Extra creamy with gravy, bitch.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
like, we were on some real shit.
Dum-dums.
In the wrappers, like we were gonzo. And speaking of, I had no idea what spooning meant, okay? I had no idea. Jamie, being the savant that she was in these areas to me, like she educated the masses, okay, of what all these types of things were. So someone one day was like, I want to spoon you. And I was like, he, totally. And I like went up to Jamie and I was like, this guy said that he wanted to spoon me. And she's like, that's disgusting. And I was like, why? What does it mean? And she told, maybe you should say this part because I think you can.
She said that spooning involved putting a piece of cutlery into a woman. We'll just leave it at that.
And other things happen afterwards that make it even more questionable. So I was horrified, obviously, being a
You're like,
little
I can't believe I
Catholic girl.
agreed to do that.
I know. I'm like, oh no. So then I want to say it was, and so like I believed this so this was probably in 6th grade when this piece of my education came to be. And then in 8th grade, some other guy was, I don't know why spooning was part of the conversation when we're that young.
It's kind of cute, actually.
It's cute, but it's also like, why were, you know what? Not going to question it. So this other guy was like, I love to spoon. And I was like, that's fucking gross. And I was so mad. And Jamie was like cracking up in the background. And I was like,
I've been betrayed. It clicked.
It clicked that she was a liar.
Because your brain got 2 years older and more developed, and you're like, wait a second.
Like, does this make any sense? No. And so that was the story there. And then just to continue the story, to set it off, Jamie lived with me for a while. Like, we lived together for a while, and every morning she would wake up early and she would hide a spoon underneath my pillow. And every morning I'd find a spoon underneath my pillow, and I was like, ah!
The dedication, the love.
Honestly, that is true love, if I've ever seen or heard of it in my life. But thank you for listening to that amazing story of my youth and childhood. Why did I bring that up again?
Because he pretends to know who the great Bambino Babe Ruth is when he does not, which gets him into a real pickle.
That's true. Pickle me up, baby.
And this is when we learn about the beast.
Yes. Yeah. So, they're all walking to the Sandlot because Benny kind of redirects them. And he's like, come on, guys, let's play baseball. And now we have a full team. So as they're walking up, Scotty's kind of like staying behind, and all the dudes in the gang are talking shit about him, being like, bro, you saw that he can't throw, he can't catch, he can't do shit. You saw him fall on his ass, basically, earlier. Like, we're not having him on our fucking team. No. And Benny's like, we need a guy. He's here. Get over it, basically. Mm-hmm. So he kind of like makes the decision for everybody, and everyone's like, fine, Benny, like, you know what's up, but like, we don't agree with you, but whatever. And so, you know, Benny trusts in Scotty that he will learn, and he does after a little pep talk from him. And he's just like, hey, I'm going to shoot a ball at you. Put your glove in the air. I'll take care of it. And so Benny basically shoots it perfectly. And I don't know why I'm saying shoot, because that's not a baseball term at all.
No, it definitely is.
He hits the ball with the bat so that it hits.
They always say that they're the great shooters. You know, Babe Ruth, great shooter.
A great shooter. No, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Obviously, I don't know sports jargon. I am not a sporty spice. But anyway, he hits the ball directly into Scotty's mitt.
The muscles.
Everyone goes wild. And then from then on, no one questions that he's in the team anymore.
Well, and from then on, Benny gives Smalls like a 2-second throwing lesson.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, and then he throws like a fucking champ.
Yep, period. He's just like, hey, have you ever been on a paper route? Just do that. Let it go. And
right. He's like, and you raise your arm and you do this. And he's like, whoa.
And it shows that like no one has really like tried to put it in terms that he would get before. Everyone's like, just keep your eye on the ball. Like, It showed that Benny had patience and he cared enough to show him, which is so sweet. And I just love his character so much. Okay. So from then on, he earns respect from the gang. And after that, Ham hits a full home run. He hits the ball out of the park, okay? And it goes over this fence. And everyone's like, oh man, now we can't play no more. And Scott's like, Jesus, I'll go get it, chill. So he like runs up and he's like, you know, climbing the fence like any kid would do, being like, what is wrong with y'all? Let's just climb the fence and get the ball. And then you hear like the Jaws theme song playing and all these kids are running at him full speed being like, no, don't go over there. And he's like, what? Get off me. So they like grab him and throw him to the ground. They're like, what are you doing? And he's like, what? I'm getting the ball. And they're like, you can't get the ball. That's suicide. And so he learns that there is a quote unquote beast in the backyard. He wants to know more. And so they're like, camp out. Which means that they're all going to sleep in their little tree house.
Which is like fucking nice. And it also happens to overlook the beast's yard.
And it also, fun fact, behind the scenes fact, it was a real tree, but it didn't naturally grow there.
They like replanted this tree?
They saw this dude in Salt Lake City cutting this full tree down. And they're like, can we have that?
And he's like, please.
And they put it and cemented it into this giant hole. And then they built the treehouse. They also built the fences. They built the whole backyard and house of Mr. Myrtle.
Oh, wow.
Everything in there was man built because it was just like a dirt lot before.
Oh, cool.
So they completely constructed it.
Nice.
Crazy, huh?
I love that piece of set work.
I do too. I'm like, I need to visit this place so bad. I know what street it's on and everything. I figured it out. And when I say figured it out, I mean I Googled it. Anyways.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
The only research that matters.
So this is one of my favorite scenes in cinema, period.
Hell yeah.
They're all, first of all, it's like a dream. They're sleeping in a treehouse in the summer. They all have their own sleeping bags. This treehouse is so fucking dope. And it's like at night and they're making s'mores, which is also just like one of the greatest pieces of cinema.
Another
ever.
thing that Scotty Smalls doesn't know what it is.
I know.
He's like, is this kid living under a rock?
He's like, I haven't had anything yet, so how can I have some more of nothing? And then the iconic line, probably one of the most quoted lines in film of all time.
You're killing me, Smalls.
There we go. I was hoping you'd take it away.
The great Hambino says that, of course.
Of course he does, because he's a genius and I love him. So anyway, he teaches them how to make a s'more. And then they scarf, as Ham puts it, so they taste. It's his first time having a fucking s'more at like 12 or 13 years old.
So
incredible.
It's glorious.
And then Squints, the greatest storyteller of all time, tells the story of the beast. Basically, he explains that Mr. Myrtle had a junkyard and a bunch of like burglars would come in and steal shit from there. So he ended up getting a dog in order to protect this junkyard, okay? But what they showed made me laugh so hard, and I forgot how silly it is.
It's so silly and fun.
Because they're like, oh, just a regular dog, and he like goes into this like trailer thing, I guess, but he just like throws him giant slabs of meat that literally look like they're from like the Flintstones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then when he comes and he's like spitting out bones, and when he comes out, he looks like one of the animatronic things from like the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, and he's like as big as a van.
Yeah, he's like a gorilla size.
He's like towering over the people.
And the music is just so fucking funny. And again, fun fact, it is a puppet and it's two people. So it's one in the front, one in the back. Hilarious. And it was made by the same people as, I wrote it down somewhere. Where did I write it? Anyway, it was, the costume was, or not the costume. I wrote it down. Hold on. I'm going to find it.
By the way, Shea has like 4 pages.
I really do, because I'm so serious about this.
I love it.
Okay. I can't remember. I can't remember where I wrote it down.
Jim Henson? Is he involved?
No, I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Anyway, we'll get to it.
A fun little surprise.
Yeah, but point is, it's someone who is like very famous for making these types of puppets, like created this, which is just beautiful. And anyway, so he's basically like, so the beast stays under that lean-to, dreaming of the day where he can be basically unchained and then kill people again, because a police officer came once he realized that, well, this is all part of the story. I'm going too far into it. Let me go back. So a police officer comes and investigates because he's realizing that like hella burglars are going literally missing.
And they're eating bones and all.
Yeah, so they can't find any trace of any of these burglars. And so his grandfather, who was a police officer, fuck the ops, and even yours, Squints.
His grandpappy.
He's like, so my grandfather told him that he has to keep the dog chained and under this lean-to forever.
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 Oh my God, I said that all the time as a kid. I'd be like, this car ride's taking forever.
And you know what? Still hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Still slaps so hard.
Guaranteed
slaps
laughs.
Fat ass.
I bet the Zoomers don't know though.
No, they wouldn't know. They would have no idea the pleasure.
Love you, Zoomers, but you probably have never seen this movie.
Hashtag missing out hardcore. So then after that,
then we
Scotty.
have
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, go on.
I was just saying, Scotty. I keep getting sidetracked. I don't know why I'm like losing my train of thought today, especially about this movie because I love it so much. But then Scotty's like, "No, none of that's true. You're making this up to scare me." And then Squint's like, "Oh yeah, stick your head out that window and look down." And he's like, "Fine, I will, idiot." So he looks down and then he sees like the beast's claw and he's like, "Ah, he's down there." And then they're all like, "Yeah, dude, we fucking told you."
Exactly. So
then the next scene is, they have to get a new baseball because the baseball obviously went over the fence. So Squints and Yeah, who's another character who just says, instead of saying yeah, he says yeah to everything. They go get a baseball from the drugstore. And when they come out, Squint sees the love of his life, Wendy Peppercorn.
Wendy fucking Peppercorn.
And
An
they
original
sing,
bad bee.
And in the song, which I noticed that whenever he sees Wendy Peppercorn, they play another Drifters song. So the first one is There Goes My Baby, which is one of my favorite fucking songs of all time. And he's just like, oh my God, I'm in love, whatever. And he just like can't keep his eyes off her. And she's like moving in slow motion and shit.
Looking like a baddie.
Incredible.
And she's probably like in high school.
Yeah,
And he's in middle school, so it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think like she's probably supposed to be like 16 or 17.
I think so.
And so anyway, they go back to the Sandlot and it's like the hottest day of the year. And so they're all going back. They're all like sweating hardcore and they're like, this shit sucks. We can't play baseball, Benny. And Benny's trying to like get them to play. He's like, we can hella play. You guys are being whack. And they're like, nope. We don't give a shit. We are not playing.
They go on strike.
Yeah, they do, which they
respect.
don't do to Benny. They don't do that.
So you know it's hot AF.
Yeah, so you know it's like hell to the nah. And fun fact about that, so when they were filming this scene, it was like in the 100 and it was like almost 110 in Salt Lake City.
Wow, yeah, like freak heat wave.
So much so that Scotty, the actor that played Scotty, actually passed out and fell into one of the cameramen.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that hardcore. It was super, super hot. So anyway, then they're all like, oh, we're going to scam on pool honeys. So they go to the public pool, which Stacy and I kind of briefly mentioned earlier. And they're all swimming and having a good old time, which, by the way, I also noticed something this time around watching it that I never noticed before, which is that Benny is fully wearing jeans in the pool.
Wait.
He is wearing jeans in the pool.
He's in the water in jeans.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, I know.
I did not notice that.
Also, again, the great Hambino, so much swagger.
Oh, yeah, he's like, excuse me, I'm coming through, and then like cannonballs.
Yeah, but he like is talking to these honeys. Like he's just like, oh, I remember you, sexy. He's telling them. He's like, hey girls. He's just like standing in front of a bunch of these like probably high schoolers, maybe older than that.
I think, yeah, there were some housewives in there.
Yeah, and he's just like, I remember you, sexy.
He's just so cute.
He's me. I swear to God, I relate to him so much. It's unreal. Love him very much. But anyway, so he does a cannonball and they're all just swimming, doing their thing. Now, another fun fact about this scene, when they filmed this, even though it came right after the super hot scene of them being at the Sandlot, it was right around 50 degrees when they were shooting this scene.
Okay, and you can totally see Squints shivering a lot, which I thought was like just him trying to be like, I'm kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
But that's funny that it was just like legitimately cold.
No, that's funny that you mentioned that because my whole life I thought that, because when I get nervous, my teeth start chattering. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. And so I always just thought that was why his teeth were chattering, because I always noticed that my whole life until I read that and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, when they probably were just like, just keep it, it works.
Yeah, it looks, natural. So basically, he's like staring at Wendy Peppercorn, who is the lifeguard at this pool. And another fun fact, this was based on the director's childhood, and Wendy Peppercorn in their life was named Bunny.
Bunny.
Which is
such
so
an old
cute.
school name. No one's named Bunny anymore.
I know. It is a pretty cute name. I like it. But anyway, so he's kind of like, I can't take this anymore. And he's like pushing the guys out of the way, getting out of the pool. They're all like, what the fuck is he doing?
Which, can we talk about the rape culture in this scene?
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah, because when he says, I can't take this anymore, he's literally just referring to her putting on suntan lotion.
Right.
Like sunscreen.
Right.
And he's like, there she is, asking for it. Oiling and oiling. I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, like and then they even say, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
like
he's like, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Them.
She doesn't know what she's doing. And then Benny's like, oh, she knows exactly what she's doing.
And I'm just like, no, she's putting on goddamn sun.
And even if she was trying to look sexy, who fucking cares?
Yeah, it's not for you.
Exactly. This is for her badass self in her red ass bathing suit to look cute up on the podium. So go fuck yourself.
And it could have been sunscreen, and she was simply trying to protect herself from the sun's rays.
Guaranteed. I mean, she's a fucking lifeguard. She's in the sun all day, every day. Yeah, this is a scene that's it's very questionable, and I'm glad that they call it what it is later on, like the narrator, because...
Well, kind of. They're like, it was vile, but he was the man, and we all respected him.
That's true. He does say it's cool.
like, which one is it? Okay.
But at least he says, like, it was vile and fucking dirty and low, basically. But he does say, and cool. And it's like, it isn't, but
I think that's the problem, is like being dirty, gross, and cool to like get with women unfairly is cool.
Yeah. I guess but at that time, we didn't know a lot about consent. Not only in like the 60s, but also in the 90s when the movie was made. I mean, we could talk about a lot of different movies that highlighted, you know, that form of rape culture, and it was like cool and funny.
Right,
and now it's like, what the fuck is
like,
wrong
what
with
an
you?
adorable little scamp. And now, yeah, it's like, wow, we really just like encourage that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. But so I guess we'll talk about the actual like assault,
Incident.
I guess. Yeah. So what happens is he's like walking towards the deep end, and everyone's like, what the fuck is he doing? And then someone's like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's walking to the deep end and he cannot swim, y'all. So he gets on the diving board and he takes off his glasses and he does this like goofy, creepy little laugh that like when I watched it this time, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
Like when I was a kid, I was like, he looks silly. And now I'm like, ugh, he looks scary as fuck. Literal predator. So he jumps in the water. And all the kids are like, oh no. So they're like swimming really fast and getting out of the pool so that they can like try to save him, because they know he's not going to be able to swim. He does not know how. And so Wendy clocks it right away because she's a fucking lifeguard bad bitch. And so she like takes off she like throws off her whistle and throws off this and that. And she dives right in and she grabs him and she brings him out. And she starts performing CPR on him because he was literally fucking drowning, and he's just like
she's
laying
good
there
at her job.
Yeah, and he's like laying there like lifeless, you know, and she's like trying to like save this child's life. And after a couple, you know, breaths in and like trying to hear his heartbeat or whatever, she goes again, and then boom, he kisses her.
After winking to his little friends.
Oh yeah, he winks to his friends and they're like, what? And then he just like, yep, he full on Frenches her, which IRL, he doesn't French her. They actually specifically were like, keep your tongue in your mouth,
Good.
kid. Yeah.
Like, this is for real. And then badass Wendy Peppercorn is having no part of it, and she drags this motherfucker out by his ear and is like, you're banned for life.
Yeah,
Which
she's
I'm
like,
fuck yeah.
You little fucking pervert, basically. It's amazing. And yeah, so they're banned for life, forever. None of them can go back. And yeah, I mean, I hate the end scene because it's so like sincere. He's just like, but I love you. And she's like, oh, you cute little kid, whatever. Rolls her eyes, and it's like,
Yeah, and all the guys, like, yeah, they're like, oh, that was like vile, but that's what makes it cool. And it's like, it's just like that whole mentality of like, men are supposed to be dogs, so when they're dogs, it's like acceptable and cool.
Yeah, like just like roll your eyes and get over it, which is like, no.
Like, what are you gonna do? Have a man? It's
You're like,
okay.
I have urges, I have needs.
Everybody has urges. It ain't just men, all right?
Yeah, and I don't
Keep
give
it
a
in your
fuck about
pants.
yours, kid. So yeah, that's pretty fucked, but you know, I guess they had like a quote unquote cute moment at the end, whatever. Pretty fucked. So then after that, this is when the next scene comes where it is 4th of July. You can see the lights are starting to go down. It's like sunset. It's like, actually, it's not even sun. It's a little past sunset. So it's, what is that? Dusk? I love dusk.
Dusk is great.
I love a good dusk.
It's so fleeting.
It's so,
Maybe that's
so
why we
fleeting,
like it
so
so
beautiful.
much.
Purple, if you will. So you see, Benny runs to Scott's house and is like, yo, we're going to play. And it's the one night of the year where they have a night game. Stacy and I talked about it earlier. Now, I also need to say, I'm going to talk about music a lot in this movie. The best rendition of all time of America the Beautiful is playing now. I'm not patriotic at all, but I will fucking sing the song until the cows come home. I did literally this 4th of July. It was the only patriotic thing I did. I love the song. It's by Ray Charles. It is fucking gorgina. Everyone needs to go listen to it.
It's fantastic.
So that's playing in the background as they are playing baseball at the Sandlot, and it's filmed really cool. Stacy and I were kind of talking about it earlier because fireworks are bursting in the air, ruining the environment, but looking really cool for us. And those are the lights that they need to play baseball. And it's
and
like,
this town is dummy rich because these fireworks are like popping.
hell yeah. Well, it's California, baby. You already know. And so they're just playing underneath the lights. And like, I was reading somewhere as well that like the reason why it was such an important game for them during the year, especially why Benny was like so gung-ho about it, is because it was like the only time he felt like he was playing in a stadium, which is so cute. I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I never thought about it before.
Sweet, sweet Benny.
And that also makes sense why all the kids are like staring up the fireworks being like, whoa. And Benny's like, I'm fucking focused right now. I'm going to still play ball, baby.
All right.
Hell yeah. I'm going to swag on these hoes. So he does. And it's just like a really beautiful scene of like, you know, it really shows the kids like wonder and how they're like fully like curious, like children still. And Benny's like super like laser beam focused on the game. And then the next scene is one of my, again, favorite scenes in cinema of all fucking time. And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
The dope ass carnival scene.
Actually, no.
Oh.
The next scene is they're playing a game, and that's when another team rolls through.
Oh, yes, the fucking snobs. I literally just wrote down baseball snob scene.
Literally, yes. They are, you know, they're all wearing like Letterman's jackets and like matching uniforms, and like they come in all pristine, riding all of their bikes, and they're like, you know.
And they want to play on the Sandlot. And Benny's like, no fucking way.
Yeah, and they're just like talking shit. Well, they don't want to play on the Sandlot. They're talking shit about the Sandlot because they're like, we play on a real.
Oh, but I thought they came to play on the lot.
I don't think so, because they're like, you need to get the fuck out of here. And they're like, we play on a real diamond, bro. Like, fuck you. I think they just came to like talk shit.
Wow, nothing better to do.
Now, I need to say, this is giving big Shea energy, what Ham does, because Ham literally marches up to them and is like going full force on all of them while the rest of them like stand back and are just like, yeah. Very aggressive. I know that entire insult scene.
Oh, yeah.
I would do it, but I mustn't. It'll take too long
to restrain myself.
It'd be too powerful. But basically, some of the best insults are thrown out, and that scene was unscripted.
Oh, I love that. I love how they're like, kids, go crazy.
Yeah, and that, like, I mean, count on it, pee drinking crap face. That was the funniest thing I had ever heard when I was like 8 years old.
But then, of course, the great Hambino delivers the coup d'etat, the biggest insult you could ever say.
The quote unquote,
which is, you play baseball like a girl.
And then everyone's like,
record scratch, like.
Yeah, it was the insult that ended the feud, and then.
Well, didn't end the feud. They're like, we're gonna play.
Well, yeah, not ended the feud, but everyone. It was like the mic drop of that
and
feud.
then they're like, we're gonna baseball this out, motherfuckers.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, tomorrow noon at our field, and then they're like, bring it on, bitch, basically, and then they go their separate ways. The next day, they play the game. They fucking crush it.
They do. I even wrote down all these kids can hit really well, and maybe they just got good scenes. But I'm like, they must have done some baseball training.
They probably all have. They probably all did, and you can tell because they are all really, really good. So they nail it. They fucking kill it. And then right after that is the fair scene, which, by the way, whenever I shoot a professional music video, I'm doing it at one of these little rinky-dink amazing fairs in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, the lights.
Oh, the lights, the smells, the music.
Just, the chaos.
Yeah, it's just so
the
amazing.
The threat of death from poorly constructed tilt-a-whirls.
Very scary. I don't know how many rides I would literally go on, but like I'm there for the food and the vibes, you feel?
Yeah, carnival food's the fucking best.
So they're all like there, they're excited, they're there to celebrate their win, you know, against these punks. And so one of the dudes is like, yo, I brought cha. And everyone's like, well, not everyone, but Scotty's like, what the fuck is cha? And it's chewing tobacco. And they're all like, oh, all the pros do it. We have to have it. And so they're all taking some of this chewing tobacco, and then they decide to immediately like jump on like the worst ride you could possibly go on.
The vomit comet.
Have you ever tried chewing tobacco?
No, I haven't.
Me neither.
I have no desire.
I do not either. It seems like it's disgusting.
Based on this movie, though, it kind of looks like yummy shredded beef jerky.
Yeah, so they actually mixed, I believe it was licorice and beef jerky for their version of it. And some of them really did get sick because...
That sounds like a horrible combo.
Yeah, they had to not only have that in their mouth, but they also made them really ride the rides. So, and if you've ever seen the movie, you know that this is a horribly disgusting scene.
So gross.
It is so vile because there is throw up everywhere, and they do not hold back. It is absolutely everywhere. It's disgusting. So if that's something that you do not like, I would skip that whole fair scene for real. Also the music again, tequila,
which always reminds me of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Of course.
When he's dancing in the biker bar.
Oh yeah.
And they like love him for his dance moves. Ugh.
You know, I only watched that for the first time like during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
It is so funny. That was the movie I watched like every day.
Yeah, I don't blame you. When I watched that, I was like, because you and my other best friend Robbie, like that's one of your favorites. And as soon as I was watching, I was like, I totally get why they love it.
Yeah,
it's so cool,
silly and cute.
I don't know if that's on our list, is it?
Oh, I'm adding it right now.
Yeah, please.
Audience, have no fear. I think it's on there, but I'll double check.
Add it because I would love to talk about it, and maybe we could get Robbie on because it's one of his faves too. But yeah, so anyway, they all get sick and they all end up leaving literally with throw up stained everything, and they like horrified the masses because they throw up like on people. It's just really gross. So I would skip it if you are sensitive to that sort of thing. And I literally wrote throw up everywhere and then in parentheses gross.
Oh, another moment of just like, wow, this guy's living the dream life. He introduces the carnival of a scene by saying, that night we did the stupidest thing any of us have ever done.
He's so dramatic.
And I was like chewing tobacco. I was like, okay, Boy Scout, relax.
He's not only a Boy Scout, but he's dramatic as fuck. Like, chill, bro.
What is the stupidest thing you've ever done?
The
like,
biggest
really?
pickle. It's
You're
a dog.
a grown man. Like,
wow. You
live
need
a
to
little.
live, homeboy.
Exactly. But again, this is like very saccharine Americana.
That's true. He's like
doing drugs violated my flag and my country, and it was stupid.
I think it was the biggest pickle I've ever been in. Shut up.
And just
fucking nerd.
smack him across the face. Just kidding. I don't condone violence.
We love that you can play baseball, but fucking suck it, nerd. Anyways. So the next scene, they're like Scotty's basically hungover, which I can imagine as a kid you'd probably feel that way. Like you know when you smoke too much hookah and the next day you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Probably like that.
Exactly. Just too much tobacco.
Yeah, just too much something going on in your bod that it's not used to. So the next scene is Bill, his stepdad, is going out of town. His mom's driving him to the airport. And Bill's like, listen, be a good boy. Take care of the house. You're the man of the house while I'm gone. And Scotty's like, we'll do, hee. And it just was a moment that meant a lot to him because to him, it showed him that Bill trusts him and he thinks of him highly enough to say that to him. At that point, I think in history especially, that was a big thing to say to a kid.
Big deal.
Yeah. So after that, he just goes and plays baseball with the guys. And Benny hits a baseball so hard that he busts the fucking baseball, like completely. He gutted it, basically, which does not happen. And so they took it as an omen, and they're like, what does this mean? And then Benny, all he's focused on is, now we can't play anymore.
He's like, who cares about the omen? We can't play ball.
Yeah, he's like, this fucking blows, and it's my fault. And so Scotty's like, you guys chill. I have a ball. Don't worry about it. And he's thinking, oh, I've seen a ball in Bill's little like office room thing. I'll just grab that. Like, how important can that possibly be?
Even though it's literally like on a pedestal.
Yeah,
like
I think
it's fine.
I think he knows that it's important, but he doesn't understand like the absolute weight and like life-changing hippity hoo blah blah that goes into what that is. So he grabs the ball. They're playing with it. And Scotty, for the first time, knocks it over the fence to the beast's backyard. So everyone is kind of like, oh, that sucks. But yo, that's fucking dope. Like, you did it. Like, look at you. Even Benny is like, oh my God, way to play, dog. Like, that's fucking amazing. And Scott's like, oh no, because he knows that it's his stepdad's ball.
And he's like, what have I done?
Yeah. So they're just like, come on. Like, it's not a big deal. You feel guilty because we can't play anymore, and that's fine. We'll just go get another ball. It's cool. And then he's like, you don't understand. That's not my ball. And they're like, what do you mean? So he explains that it's his stepdad's ball and he jacked it from his office while he was out of town and it was signed and he doesn't know who it is, but it's some lady. What's her name? I don't know, Ruth, baby Ruth. And they're like, Babe Ruth. They freak out naturally. And they're like, okay, so we have to fucking get this back because here's what's up. And they explain exactly who Babe Ruth is. And he's just like, Jesus Christ. And Benny says,
I don't feel so good.
Yeah, Benny's like, this is worth literally more than your whole life. And that's like Benny, who's super nice.
Right. And he's like, I have to be honest with you because you're my friend. You're going to die.
And he's like, you're going to get murdered in cold blood when your stepdad gets home. So they hatch a plan. They're like, we need to get this back. So
also, I do want to point out that this moment happens a full 57 minutes into the film.
yeah, the climax.
It is an extremely late time to develop a major plot point.
That's so true. I never thought about that, but that is so true.
Yeah, it happens very late.
They really wanted to like showcase the friendship.
Right. It's like the first half is like more of like a poem about friendship, and then an hour and they're like, all right, here's what's going on.
Here's the real tea, y'all.
Right.
Yeah. That's a great point. So, they all get together and they scrounge up some change to buy just any old baseball that they could find, and they signed it themselves. They like forged a Babe Ruth signature just cause they're
I
like,
thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Well, they did it so there'd be a placeholder so that the ball wasn't obviously missing.
right. So like Betty just says like, it's not like his mom's gonna know the difference. So then Scott goes back home, he puts it on the little pedestal thing, and then the mom walks in and she's just like, Bill doesn't like you to touch his things, but let me educate you on who Babe Ruth is and why this is so important. He's like, great. Even
like,
my mom knows who it is.
Ring. I also felt like mom was giving like scared for her life vibes, and I was like, I think Bill strikes everybody, like as an abuser.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, Bill doesn't want you in here. And I was like, get out of there, run.
Yeah, it's like, he's just in an office, lady, chill.
Yeah, and her eyes are like kind of wide. She's like, you shouldn't be in here.
Or like, even when she was like, just ask him. Go ask him to play ball. It's like,
and I was like, Bill definitely smacks the shit out of all of them. Which it was 1962.
yeah,
Hitting
he
your child was
absolutely
quite common.
did. He absolutely did, which is sad as fuck. But so anyway, after that, they hatch a bunch of like Rugrats level schemes to try to get this.
Yeah, they're
ball
all
back.
super fun.
Yeah, they go like, can you remember some of them?
So there's lots of attempts to like lift the ball over with like extended devices. None of those work. They try to lower a kid over the side of the fence and he almost gets 8.
Yeah.
But the most extended one is they like rig this weird vacuum machine to suck up the baseball. And then of course, like the beast bends the pipe so the vacuums start overheating. And instead of just turning the vacuums off because they have little mashed potato brains, they're like, everybody run, it's gonna blow. And then like you just see a dust explosion. But it's super cute because the one little brother, what's his name?
Well, he's the older brother.
Oh, he's
of
the
the
older
two.
brother of the
I
two
think it's
who
Timmy.
repeat each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets left in the blast and you see him just like come down and he's all dusty and he goes, I think I know what's wrong. If anything, I blame myself. We've been going about this all wrong. And so then they try their like final trick, which was, what was it again? What's like the last thing they try?
The last thing they tried was they used all of his like little metal toy pieces to make like a what was it?
Oh yeah, like a robot.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
a rover robot thing.
Yeah, and then
That
that
it
also
was like a
fails.
catapult.
Yeah, and then the catapult also fails, and then Benny is like, "Yo, I know what I got to do," but only because he gets visited by a special person.
Very true. But really quick, I need to say this. The scene where the kid gets left in the treehouse and there's like dust all over him and he walks out. When I was rewatching it again as an adult, because I haven't watched it too many times as a grown-up, I remembered that when I was a kid, I did not understand that scene or like who that kid was. So I thought it was like a wise ghost child.
Oh my God.
And so like when I'm watching it as an adult, I'm like, it's so obvious that it was like Timmy or whatever. But like I was cracking up last night. So I was like, I literally thought it was a ghost.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Speaking of ghosts, yes, this is where Benny gets his big idea.
So Benny has a dream that Babe Ruth comes and visits him in his bedroom. And he gives him like a giant pep talk that's like, bro, it's like on some Eminem shit. He's like, everybody gets one chance. You have a chance to do something great. And then like, he drops the fire line, which is, there's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Follow your heart, kid, and you'll never go wrong. And so Benny knows what he has to do. He knows.
Well, and he literally doesn't Babe Ruth like literally tell him like you have to go get the ball.
Yeah. He's like, well, he just says, he's like, I heard you're in a pickle. Like, what's the pickle? And he's like, there's a giant gorilla dog thing that has the ball. And like one kid tried already and he got eaten. And then Babe Ruth is literally like, okay, well, hop over the fence and get it. And then he's just like so cavalier.
Yeah, and I think he's like, oh, is that true? And like, he's like, that's not fucking true.
He's like, you know that's not true. Yeah, exactly. That seems like horseshit. Just do it.
And by the way, Babe Ruth has like this very neat old footage effect that they use. It's a very cool piece of film.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that in another movie.
Yeah, it's very neat.
In the same way. It was really, really cool. And so when he wakes up, he knows what he has to do. So he brings everybody to the Sandlot. He shows off his amazing new PF Flyers, which honestly, chef's kiss. Such a good fucking shoe.
Yeah, I didn't know it was real. So I asked Brent, I was like, are PF Flyers a real thing? He's like, oh yeah, like they were a big deal in baseball.
They were a big deal in baseball. They brought them back for a short time when this movie got brought out. They stopped making them for a while, and then they brought them back again.
Oh,
and I think they're just back now, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
So everyone's begging him not to do this, but he's like, I have to do this, you guys. So he jumps over the fence. He lands, and he's, in this like big backyard, kind of semi like junkyard situation, and
totally vulnerable.
He sees the chain that would be attached to the beast, but he doesn't see him yet. He just knows that he's there, and he sees the ball, and it's like a little bit far away, and then it's like a Western standoff. And the beast starts like slowly walking out of his little lean-to, and they're literally at like a standoff. Like they're standing on either side of the backyard, and the baseball's in the middle, and they're just like staring at each other. And all of a sudden this music starts up as Benny's like kind of revving up his engine, quote unquote, which is, him just like pressing his shoe down. And then he runs, and the beast runs, and he grabs the ball and runs and jumps over the fence. The beast breaks off his chain, and the fence is so high that Benny's like, yay, like they're all celebrating, thinking, okay, there's no fucking way. And then they look, the beast is jumping over the fence, baby.
I feel like this scene really captured like childhood whimsy and imagination, where things really did seem so much bigger and scarier when you're a kid, and then you look back. Like, for example, I'll never forget, I used to think that Splash Mountain was like the size of a skyscraper.
It is pretty massive.
But when I was a kid, I was like, it's like a 70-story building.
Totally.
And then I went back as an adult, and I was like, oh, that's it?
It's not that crazy.
No. I was like, that is significantly smaller than I thought. Or Tournament of the Kings here in Vegas. It's like this medieval show. When I was a kid, it was like football stadium size. Went on for miles. And then I went back as an adult, and I was like, this is very small.
I totally know what you
mean. But it's so small.
I felt that way about the Meadows Mall.
Oh, yeah. And you're like, this is not big at all.
This is the big, I will never understand the layout of this. I don't know how anyone remembers where any of the stores are. And then when I go back as an adult, I'm like, oh, it's like the smallest shit ever.
Yeah, so it's like, it's totally like cute how they like give reality to these kids' fantasies, and like the dog is huge, and then it's like chasing him around.
Which the dog is big, but he's not a fucking like
he's
gorilla.
Not the size of a bus.
Right, exactly. So the dog starts chasing him, and Benny's running, and he's running all over town. He's jumping on tables. He is running through movie theaters, breaking screens. Like, he is just running all over town, trying to just take what's his, which is the ball. Well, not his, but you know what I'm saying. And the dog is chasing him everywhere he decides to go. And finally, he gets back to the Sandlot, and he jumps over the fence to get away from the puppy. So he's back in the beast's backyard. And as he's doing that, the dog, the beast, jumps over the fence as well, and the fence breaks and lands on the dog.
And you're like,
and he's in a lot of pain.
No, and he's not moving, and it's like, oh no.
So it's almost like it's a slight moment of relief for a split second, but then you realize, wait, the dog is like really in pain, and he's like crying, and it's really sad.
And Scotty Smalls, like everyone else is just kind of looking like, what do we do? And Scotty's like, you gotta help me, like he's in pain. And so they all lift the fence off the dog, and the dog is like, we're best friends now, basically.
Yeah, the dog just sits there and stares at him, and everyone's like freaking out, like, oh no, what's he gonna do? And then he just licks his face to thank him, which is so sweet.
It's so sweet.
And then the dog he's like, come follow me. You know, he kind of like nudges them to be like, come follow me. So he goes around the corner and he's digging up a hole. And what he's digging up is like every baseball that's ever landed in the
Goddamn
backyard.
jackpot.
Yep. So he's just kind of like, here's my thank you, which is so cute.
Yeah, and what's so funny is like during all these scenes of trying to get the ball back, I was like, this homeowner is very checked out. Like, how does he not realize anything that's happened? But then Scotty takes the dog back to the owner and you find out he's blind.
Yeah.
And I was like,
which is a perfect.
I forgot about that. That makes a lot more sense.
It is a perfect reason for why
because I was like, he doesn't see these kids like dangling over his backyard and building robots and exploding vacuums.
Right. And he even mentioned, he's just like, oh, that's what all that racket is, you know? He's like,
Right.
Jesus.
I was like, okay, that's all right, Sandlot, one step ahead.
Yeah. So as Stacy mentions, like they knock on his door to be like, hey, we're returning your dog. And they're like pointing towards the fact that like he's been chasing us around. Hee hee. And so everyone always, like Squint specifically was like, no, this guy is so scary. Old man Myrtle, we can't just knock on his door. He'll murder us in cold blood. And so he's just like, what? So a baseball got thrown over the fence? Is that what's up? He's like, you could have just knocked on the door. I would have gotten it for you. And everyone just like starts basically beating the shit out of Squints because they're like, why did you tell us that? So then Mr. Myrtle invites Scotty and Benny inside. They go inside and they see like an insane amount of baseball memorabilia. And they tell him, you know, what happened with the ball. And Mr. Myrtle's like, oh, you're in trouble, kid, aren't you? And he's just like, yep. So he kind of explains what happened. And he's just like, hold on, I think I have something for you. And he goes in this case and he brings out a baseball that is signed by every single 1927 Yankee, including Babe Ruth.
So it's like even better. Yeah. Although, I mean, I do think that the stepdad got the Babe Ruth ball from his dad.
He did.
So that part of it is lost.
Yeah, it's a sentimental.
Sadly. But he does get like offered a really cool ball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very nice of Mr. Myrtle to give that ball away because wow.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars worth.
Totally. And you find out, you know, pretty soon after that there's like a picture of him and Babe Ruth and then another famous baseball player. And they're like, wait, you knew him? And he's just like, yeah, I played with them. And he's like, and I would have beat Babe Ruth's record too if this hadn't happened, you know?
Oh, it's so funny. He goes, and I would have beat him too. And then fucking Scotty Smalls, bold as hell, goes, if you didn't go blind. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, fucking thanks.
I was like, wow, Scotty. Delicate.
I know. Really delicate subject. You
so
did
like,
so well.
You went blind, right?
Because you went fucking blind?
Because you can't see.
So yeah, and then he's just like, yep. And so he said, like, they basically say, we can't accept this. This is like too crazy. And he's like, listen, how about you come back once a week to talk about baseball and we'll call it even. And
yeah,
so,
you can tell he's like lonely.
Yeah, it's so
cute. Sweet.
So they do. And then the movie just ends with Scotty being an MLB. That's what it is, right? MLB?
Mm-hmm,
okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Major League Baseball. Got it. An MLB announcer. And he's announcing a professional baseball game, of course. And Benny is on the team.
It's so cute. And the reason you know it's the kid is he's wearing that fugly hat again.
Yeah, it's real fug. And I don't understand what is happening with the wide-brimmed Florida grandma baseball question mark. Yeah. It's truly disgusting. But yeah, you know it's him. And then they kind of do like a little point and wink when the Dodgers win, which is the team that Benny's on.
And I thought adult Benny was fine as fuck too.
You know why?
Why?
He's the guy who plays Benny's older brother.
No way.
Yes, he is.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my God, what a fine ass family.
I know. Super fine. But yeah, they look so alike.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, and that's how the movie ends, and it's just so sweet.
It's very cute. No after credits scene, right?
No, but I do I forgot to mention actually that before that scene, or is it before or after? I think it's after actually. Well, I don't know. They explain everything that happens to the kids when they get older.
Yeah, and the vacuum explosion kid like becomes like an engineer, and he invents, what is it again?
Mini malls.
Mini malls, that's what it is.
And then I think it's Bertram is the kid's name. He gets lost in the 60s, quote unquote. Yaya is like a professional bungee jumper, and the reason why he got that idea is because of them roping him up and, you know, lowering him down in the backyard to get the baseball from the beast. And Squint marries Wendy Peppercorn, and they have 9 kids. And they own the drugstore. I think it's Vince's Drug Mart or whatever. Which, by the way, that exact drugstore was also in a bunch of Halloween movies. Fun fact.
Oh, okay.
So,
it looks like I thought maybe it was a set.
I think so, but like the same exact store set, whatever, is used in a bunch of other movies. And so, I mean, if you want to think about it, Mike Myers and all these Sandlot kids.
Shared universe.
Shared universes.
Dun, dun, dun. And then the Great Gambino, remember what he becomes?
A professional wrestler.
Yes, I love it.
And his name is the Great Gambino. And I love it so fucking much. But, you know, I adore this movie. I'm so glad I got a chance to watch it again.
Yeah, it was really nice watching it again because, like I said, I had remembered certain scenes, but I didn't remember like what order they came in or how they tied together. I'd forgotten a lot about the dog chase at the end and like the ending and how it wrapped up. But yeah, just certain scenes like the carnival scene, the pool scene, forever. Like just like so iconic, seared into your memory.
Straight up, even if you've never seen The Sandlot in your life, I'm sure you understood at least like 1 or 2 of these references that we made, because they go beyond watching the movie. They like work in real life, and I don't know. I just love it so much. And it still pretty much holds up for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, it was supposed to be called Boys of Summer, which is also one of my favorite songs.
Oh, yeah, it's a great song.
But because there was a book named Boys of Summer that was also about baseball. They're like, we can't do it.
I really like The Sandlot.
I do too. It works way better.
It's simple.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have. Do I have anything else? Let's see. Do you have any fun facts?
You want me to try to figure out who made the Beast?
What'd you say?
Want me to try to figure out who made the Beast?
Yeah, I know I have it written down somewhere. And I don't know where I wrote it. Let me see.
Puppeteer genius Rick Lazzarini.
Who did?
Let me look him up.
I wrote here.
He's head of the character shop, which I think did a lot of different monsters.
Let me see here.
Rick's amazing work has been featured in films such as Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, Snakes on a Plane, Willard, Big Trouble, Mimic, Dude, Where's My Car, Casper, Outbreak, The Santa Claus, Hocus Pocus, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, and many more.
Damn, okay. There was another one that
he did Alien, I think? Wow. Yeah, he's just done a lot of monsters.
Yeah. Either way, it's an incredible little puppet thing, and it's so damn funny, and I love it so much.
Yeah, it's very adorable.
Thank you for looking that up, because I was just
You're
like,
welcome.
I saw this. Where did I see it?
Yeah, was that one of the trivia questions? Am I hitting it out of the park?
Yeah, baby. I think we actually went over a couple of them already.
I love that.
So
Feels like freebies.
Okay. Where is it? Why am I losing all of my stuff here? Okay, here we go. Number 1. What year is this movie supposed to be set in?
1962.
Yes. Who is the Great Bambino?
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruthie.
Baby Ruthie.
When is the one-night game of the year?
4th of July.
Who is Squint's one true love?
Wendy Peppercorn.
How many kids do they have?
9.
Which state does The Sandlot take place in the movie, not like in real life?
California, yay.
What insult does Ham use that quiets the crowd?
You play baseball like a girl. We've literally done all of these.
Yep. Why did the boys get sick at the fair?
They were eating cha.
How long did the boys get banned from the pool?
forever.
And lastly, which team does Benny end up playing for professionally?
The Dodgers.
Bam. You got it. 100%.
Well,
Flying colors, baby.
If we had done this at the beginning, it would have been not good.
It's all good. You killed it.
And you know what I have ready?
What do you have?
A personality test.
Yes. Oh my God.
This is a BuzzFeed original, so you know it's not going to be 50 goddamn questions.
Every time we just have to do BuzzFeed
Right?
quizzes. Yep.
If you were a kid from the Sandlot, which one would you be?
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Subtitle, you're killing me, Smells. All right. Pick a position in baseball. Pitcher, catcher, first base, second base, third base, shortstop, left field, center field, right field.
I don't know what any of those mean, but was catcher in there?
Catcher's in there.
Okay, I'll
Got
do
it,
catcher.
babe. Choose a sport other than baseball. Basketball, football, softball, volleyball, track and field, wrestling, soccer, swimming, and lacrosse.
Swimming.
Swimming. Pick something Sandlot related. This is great. S'mores. The Beast. Wendy. Oh, this spells it peppercorn.
It is peppercorn.
I thought it was peppercorn.
Oh, close. No, yeah, it's
Interesting.
peppercorn.
Okay, Wendy Peppercorn, The Great Bambino, 4th of July Carnival, The Treehouse, The Heater Pitch, Mr. Myrtle, or PF Flyers.
Oh my God. So many of these are my favorite things. I have to go with The Treehouse.
Treehouse. Pick a quote from The Sandlot. This kid's a square. Is that your sister out in left field? L7 Weenie. Forever. You're killing me, Smalls. There's heroes and legends. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Just stand out there and stick your glove out in the air, and I'll take care of it. And last but not least, you mix your Wheaties with your mama's toe jam.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
You mix your Wheaties with your mama's toe jam. He bobs for apples in the toilet, and he likes it. You play ball like a girl. Okay, I had to do that part at least. Go ahead.
Pick an animal. Dog, cat, giraffe, elephant, penguin, hippo, lion, horse, panda.
Hippo.
Hippo. Rename Hercules. Fluffy, Brutus, Fang, Max, Rocky, Bear, Bambino, Rex, or Hunter.
Gotta do Fang.
Fang. You are fucking Hamilton Ham Porter.
Oh my God.
I wish they had a little description, but they
they
don't. So
don't?
I'll just
That's
tell 'em
okay.
I own. You're fucking cool, and you rock a striped shirt like a motherfucker.
Fuck yeah, and I'm wearing a striped crop shirt right now, baby. Okay,
Oh yeah.
let me do you. Okay. Pick a position in baseball.
Shortstop, because that's what I played when I was briefly in a softball league, which I fucking hated. I did not enjoy it.
Shorty stop.
Shorty stop.
Choose a sport other than baseball. Basketball, football, softball, volleyball, track and field, wrestling, soccer, swimming, or lacrosse.
Is tennis on there?
No. I
Then
know you
swimming
picked that
too.
one. Which one?
Swimming.
Got it. Okay, cool. We love a good swim. Mm-hmm. Pick something Sandlot related. S'mores, The Beast, Wendy Peppercorn, The Great Bambino, 4th of July Carnival, The Treehouse, The Heater Pitch, Mr. Myrtle, or PF Flyers.
I'm going to go with the Beast.
Cutie Bugsy. That's my dog's name. Pick a quote from The Sandlot. This kid's a square. Is that your sister out there in left field? They forgot naked. He says naked. L7 Weenie forever. You're killing me, Smalls. There's heroes and legends. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Just stand out there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it. Or you mix your Wheaties with your mama's toe jam.
I think the first one. This kid's a square.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking amazing. Pick an animal. Dog, cat, giraffe, elephant, penguin, hippo, lion, horse, or panda.
Penguin stood out to me.
I love penguins. Rename Hercules. Like, is that not Bugsy?
So cute.
Okay. Fluffy, Brutus, Fang, Max, Rocky, Bear, Bambino, Rex, or Hunter.
I like Brutus.
Brutus is what we were going to name Bugsy.
Really?
You're Squints.
Yes, he
I
looks like
love
Steve-O.
Yeah, he does look like
Oh
Steve-O.
my God, Michael Squints Pallador.
Now he's like fully he's yadded
He
up.
is? This guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fully yadded up.
Go Squints.
Also, I need to state that a lot of these kids were in different episodes of Boy Meets World, and a handful of these kids were also in the Mighty Ducks series, including Benny. And after that, he like literally fell off.
Oh.
I think he's just like a family man, and he just doesn't want to be associated with.
Oh yeah, I looked
Sandlot.
this up. He's a firefighter.
Huh?
He's a firefighter.
Of course he is. Jesus Christ.
And saving the world. No big deal.
Wow, of course he is. Anyway, wow.
Wow. Amazing. This is our longest one yet.
I was going to say, I feel like I like totally bogarted this entire conversation.
No, you were passionate. It's one of your favorites.
It is.
This is going to meet me during Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Thank you for allowing me the space. Thank you for allowing me to do this.
Oh, of course.
Holding
It's an
hands.
iconic fucking movie. We had to do it for Baseball Month.
We really, really did. It is one of my all-time favorites. It was like, as soon as I knew that we were doing this podcast, it was one of the first movies that came to my mind. So I'm so glad that it was one of the first, and I hope you guys enjoyed it so much.
And quite clearly, you don't need to like baseball to like this movie because
No.
we both don't really give a fuck.
It's mostly like about friendship and getting into shenanigans.
Yeah, there's
and-
actually not a whole lot of baseball.
No, like I guess that's the underlying like string that attaches all the different parts of it, but it really is about like friendship and tenacity,
Having fun with your homies.
having fun with your homies, and believing in yourself.
Hell yeah. What could be better than that?
Honestly,
We hope that you all believe in yourselves
please believe in yourself, believe in your friends, stick up for the little guy.
and believe in us and become a patron.
Believe in us more than you currently do, except for
Believe in us
Cody.
$5 a month worth.
Cody, we love you. Again, thank you so much for supporting us. All of you, though, thank you for listening.
for
Just you listening and you know, following us on social media and everything is support enough, to be honest. We just
Yeah.
love that any of you are listening. And if you want to and you haven't added us on Instagram yet, please do at Blockbuster Wives on Instagram. And then also, if you ever have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to email us at blockbusterwives@gmail.com. We also have one question. We told you guys that we do like a different question asked from the audience every episode from now on, or at least that's what we decided to do.
That's
and so we're doing
our
it.
dizziest daydream.
Yep. And so our question is, what shoes would you choose to wear if you had to pickle the beast? Stacy, you go ahead.
Oh my
I already
God.
know your
It's
answer.
so easy. It's fucking Crocs. Crocs that are in 4-wheel drive for maximum speed and comfort.
Ribbed for your pleasure.
Ribbed for my pleasure. Washables when you get in that nasty ass dirt and cake shit. You just fucking rinse those things off. Hose them off. You good, babe.
Do you think you could run in them like full speed?
I can't say I've ever tried.
Maybe we should
Maybe
try.
we should try. We'll
Maybe-
report back in a future episode about that.
I could be the beast. I'll chase you.
We could film it.
That would be fun. I'll chase you and we'll test your croc game.
Oh, hell
That actually is
yeah.
fucking fantastic.
We have that long ass hallway.
I'm fucking down. That's amazing.
My neighbors might be like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck is going on around it?
I think remember the last time I've actually tried to run as fast as I can. It's been probably years.
Wait, you can't remember or you can?
I can't.
I'm trying to think of when I did. I don't remember.
Right? It's not something I ever want to do. But for this, I will.
Yeah, I do remember actually. It was at the Black Lives Matter protest when we were getting shot at by the cops by rubber bullets and we had to run away because they're fucking idiots. Anyways, that was the last time I ran like full speed.
Nice. Okay. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it, baby.
We will do it. We'll film it. It'll be fucking fantastic. Hold us to it because we might forget, to be honest. But if you want to see it, let us know in the DMs.
And then we'll know you listened to the whole episode.
Yeah, exactly. So remind us once you hear this, DM us and tell us that you want to, or comment on any of our pictures and tell us that you want to see the video and we'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's a plan. And we love you.
We love you so much. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you
next
guys
week
next
with
time.
A League of Their Own.
Oh, A League of Their Own. I'm so stoked. That's going to be so fun.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All
Love
right, we
you.
love you.
Bye.
Bye.